this is a crossroads for many of us. And I want to make sure that we take advantage of this crossroad where two intersections meet. And you're going to have to decide which way you're going to go. Are you going to continue to go straight where you've always been? Or are you going to decide, you know what? I've been going this way all of my life. For me, 52 years old. I'm 53 now, but when I made the decision, I was 52 years old. So I had to make a decision when I came to that crossroad. I had to make a decision to turn, okay? Because what was happening to me was getting ready to be death, and I felt death coming on. So I hope that none of you all are there, but if you are there, there is hope for you, all right? You're still breathing. The Most High has given you breath. So right now, let's everybody take a deep breath and let it out, because you're about to make some decisions and you're about to make some changes in your life that is going to change the direction of your life. All right? One more deep breath. All right. Okay, so first, let me get you to understand something. All right? Here we go. In Romans chapter 8, 36 and 37, it says, as it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. And I'm going to show you that. I'm going to prove that to you coming up this week. Nay, in all these things, we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. All right. So what is that telling us? It's telling us that we are more than conquerors. It means that things that we have been through in our lives, we may feel like right now, I just can't get over this hurdle. But what we're getting ready to do is exercise our minds, okay? If your minds had legs, we're going to stretch those legs this week. We're going to stretch it back the other way, and we're going to stretch it because we're getting ready to jump some hurdles. And some of these hurdles have been blocking us all of our lives. Some of these hurdles have been causing us to run up to them, and then when we get there, we put the brakes on and we stop because we feel like we just can't conquer it. And so this week, we're going to stretch our mental legs and we're going to begin to take some leaps over these hurdles that have been holding us back for all of our lives. Don't be down on yourself if you've been doing it all of your life like me, because it was not time. I'm telling you right now, it is time now. If the Most High caused us to meet, it is time. If you saw those brochures and it got your attention, it is time. Things are getting ready to change in your life. I'm happy for you. I'm excited for you because your path is about to be different. And I can only tell you that because my path is totally different from where it's always been. All right? Okay, so in order for you to trust me, you need to know who I am, because I'm going to be honest with you. If I don't know you, I can't give my heart to you. If I don't know you, I can't trust you. I mean, what are you going to teach me? I mean, I want to hear what you say. Yeah, I'll join this to hear what you got to say, but you know, I'm going to check everything that you're saying. So I have to get you to be able to trust me. And I think the only way that you can trust me is to really know who I am. So I'm going to be open up. I'm going to open up and I'm going to be vulnerable to you about the things that I have been through, and hopefully some of you can understand what I'm going through, because some of you are going to be going through the exact same thing, and I believe that's where we all are going to meet together. It's just like that. All right. So let me get started. Okay. So if you all can see that, I'm going to slide over. Okay. That was me about a year and a half ago. May have been a year ago. My journey started for me March the 12th of 2023. And that is what I looked like March the 12th, 2023. I was a big boy. 280 pounds is what I weighed. 280. You can see I had locks. I had long hair. That's what I had. You can see right there. I had locks then too. You just couldn't see them. They were pulled back. So that was me. This was probably about 7, 8 years ago. That's what I looked like. 200 and probably 70 plus, 80 plus, right there. I didn't even weigh myself. Okay. So at that time, I just knew I was a big boy. I drove a truck, so I had DOT physicals, so I know that I was really heavy, and I know that I was a big boy. And I struggled all of my life with eating. It was just one of those things that I could not overcome. It was the biggest hurdle in my life. So listen, I reached all of my goals that I had in my life. One of my goals was when I graduated from high school, I wanted to be a state trooper, and I reached that goal. I was a state trooper in Kentucky in law enforcement. I reached that goal. I wanted to go to college and graduate. I reached that goal. I went to Kentucky State University in Frankfort, Kentucky. I graduated. I reached that goal. My first day at college, I met this beautiful woman. I said, "Oh my, who is that?" And I said, "She's gonna be my wife." And guess what? I got that goal. She's my wife, been with her 34 years, 6 children together. Wonderful woman. I have her. All of those goals I was able to obtain. Thank you, sister. I appreciate it. I got her. 6 beautiful children later, ranging from 26 years old to 7 years old. I had a big family. That's what I said I wanted. But there was one thing in my life, one goal that I could not reach. And that was the goal of controlling what food I put in my mouth. I had no control over that whatsoever. That was a goal that I could not reach. I prayed all of my life for the Most High to take it away from me. I said things like, "Father, if you will take it away from me, just take the taste buds, just let them go numb so that I don't taste food anymore, and maybe I won't eat that much anymore." I said, let me not just like food. Just take food, the pleasure of food from me. And what'll happen is I won't eat, and people will start telling me, "Hey man, you need to start eating." See, those are the things that I was praying for, but it never took place. And I was like, man, what am I gonna do? I can't control my eating. If I saw food, I would start getting the shakes because I love food that much. So anyway, let's keep going. I have a wonderful wife who has seen many of the issues that I have dealt with when it comes to food. My wife has asked me to lose weight so many times, not out of vanity for me, but she's asked me to lose weight so many times because of my health. You see, she may not want me saying this, but my wife is the only one left in her family. She doesn't have any more family. She doesn't have a mother or father. She doesn't have a sister anymore. She doesn't have a lot of people who was in her life. I'm the last one left in her life. So for her, it was more of a thing of keeping me around. And for me, I would be like, "Okay, baby, I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better." 1 or 2 days, 1 or 2 weeks would go by, and darn it, if I'm not stopping by the donut shop and picking up half a dozen cream-filled donuts and sitting there chugging away in my car before I go home. That was my life. It was nothing for me to say, "Hey, baby, I'm going to go to the grocery store. Do you need anything?" And, if she didn't need anything, I was stopping by Sonic. I was picking up my big whatever they call those things. Look, it's been so long since I've been there now. I don't even know the name, Arctic Blast or something like that. It's been so long since I've been there now. I don't even know what they call them. But I would go and get my big one, and I would sit there and eat it. She would ask me, hey, can you go to the grocery store for me? And I'd be like, oh, yeah. In the back of my mind, I'm saying to myself, oh, this is my perfect opportunity. I'm going to go get me 2 caramel sundaes. And then there would be times when I'd say, hey, sweetie, you want me to go get you a hot fudge sundae? And she'd be like, really? I'm like, yeah, let me go get you a hot fudge sundae. I want to treat you. What would I do? I would go to Sonic. I would get 3 caramel sundaes, and I would get her hot fudge sundae. I would down 2 of those caramel sundaes right there at Sonic, and I would bring 1 back. So she was thinking that I'm eating 1 caramel sundae and eating with her, and we're having a good time. No, I just went and worshiped my God. Let me say that again for some of us. No, I just went and worshiped my God. You see, my God was my appetite. And we're going to talk about building a why tomorrow, but I'm going to tell you what one of my whys was. You see, I worshiped the God of my stomach. Many of us don't want to talk about that. Many of us in our churches, that ain't even a subject that's brought up. Why? Because many of us in church, we're overweight. Pastor's overweight. Pastor, as the head goes, the body follows. So if pastor's overweight, it's okay. Because pastor, he's a righteous man. And since he's a righteous man and I see he eats what he wants to eat and he looks the way he does, then it's got to be okay. And many of us pastors, we leading people straight to hell. Yeah, I know that's tough. You probably won't hear that, but it's okay. It's the truth. Many of us leading people straight to hell because of our own undisciplinedness. And we make people think that it's okay, and it's not okay. Nobody should have ever looked at me as being a righteous man. I don't care how many Bible verses I spit out of my mouth. I don't care what people thought about me. They should have never thought. They shouldn't have never looked at me and said that man is a righteous man. Why? Because I had sin all over me. I was wearing sin every day, all over me. Nobody ever challenged me on my weight. Nobody did. But yet, society, culture makes it okay. Now, I love people because they're people. It doesn't matter whether or not you're living with obesity or not. I love people. As a matter of fact, I love people who live in obesity. Why? Because I have great compassion for them. Because I've been right where they're at. I know the bondage. So I think that it's time that we finally get a hold of what has been ailing us. I believe that it is time that we finally say to ourselves, there is no way that my Father is happy with where I'm at. Now, if you're slim, you don't get off like that. You don't get off scot-free because you can be skinny and fat inside. You can be slim and chunky on the inside. Your liver can have fat all over it, and your outsides look like you're the perfect weight. Your heart can have fat hanging all around it. You can have water, fluid built up all around your heart while you're skinny. It affects you too. So I don't want anybody to think that they can get off scot-free just because you look skinny. You can still have the same God of your stomach that someone who lives with obesity has. It's the same God. It's called appetite. And so this week, my plan is to help you to understand that God of your stomach. This week, my goal is to help you understand that what has been holding you back isn't necessarily your fault. I know, there's a degree of it that is our fault because we actually made the decisions to do it. But I want to show you the majority of it is not our fault. And if you can understand that it is not our fault, there is a lot of things that you will be able to accomplish. There is a lot of things that you will be able to do. If everybody hears me and understands, just wave your hand for me. Just wave your hand. All right. Am I speaking to some of us? Judgment-free zone now, okay? So you don't have to worry about whether nobody's looking at you. You don't have to worry about whether anybody's judging you because this is a judgment-free zone. There is none of us who lives without sin, okay? All right. So let's keep going. All right. So again, I'm a father. 6 children. I have a heart for children. I have a heart for big families. There's a lot of families today that has fathers, and the fathers are there physically, but the fathers are dying. The fathers are dying of heart attacks. Fathers are dying of cancer. Fathers are dying of strokes, multiple strokes, because of high blood pressure. So that was what was going on with me. High blood pressure. I had it. 188/124 is what my blood pressure ran. I didn't take medication. I already knew I didn't want to go that route. That wasn't for me. So I lived with that for years. Really just wondering, why is my blood pressure so high? Why does my blood pressure have to be like this? I mean, like, what am I doing? My mother's got high blood pressure. Aunts, uncles, you name it. High blood pressure runs in the family. Brother, sister, everybody's got high blood pressure. Why do I have to have a genetic problem that causes me to have high blood pressure? That's not fair. Why do I have to go through that? But really, come to find out, it's the culture. It's tradition. We'll get into that. So I'm a servant. I've spent 20 years in the ministry. I love the ministry. I love speaking the Most High's word. I love it. I love dealing with people. I love seeing people's lives change. I'm just giving you some information as to why I believe that you should trust me. I hope that you would trust me. I hope that I can win your hearts over because that's what it's going to take. Listen, it takes one person touching another person. If we want to overcome this, you all don't understand that there's an enemy against mankind. And this enemy is developing foods or industrial products for us to eat. He doesn't want us to exist. That's why many of us are dying. Okay? So my public servant is, I love to speak to people about the word of the Most High. That's why I went into police work, because I wanted to be a public servant. I was willing to lay my life down for people who did not know me. I was willing to give my life up to serve people. I wasn't one of those hard police officers. I was one of those police officers that you wanted me to come to your call. I was one of those police officers, hey, you want me to pull you over. If anybody is to pull you over, I'm one of those that you want to pull you over because I tried to leave you more happier than you was when I stopped you. That's just the way that it was. I was one of the guys where they wanted me to talk to the news media. They wanted me to communicate with people. If we had a bad call and somebody had a mental issue, I was the one that they would call to come and talk them out of it. If they were barricading themselves in the room, 15 officers standing outside of the door trying to get one man to come out of his room, and I'm on the other side of town, Officer Logan, can you please go over to such and such? I was the one that they called to come over and talk in the crack of the door. Hey, buddy, what's going on? It's okay. All of us deal with that. Tell me what you need. I was the one who would help the person open up the door and we would take him to a safe place. So that's the type of public servant that I was. And so this has followed me into where the Most High has me now. So where does the Most High have me now? The Most High has me since I have learned to overcome the God of my stomach, since I have learned to overcome ultra-processed food. He now has me helping people to overcome that. And that takes love, it takes patience, it takes forgiveness, it takes compassion. Okay, so that's the type of person that I am. Hopefully throughout the rest of this week, I think you'll probably feel that from me. But I'll let you decide that for yourself. But I wanted to give you reasons as to why I believe you should listen to me. I may be able to help. I really may be able to help. All right? All right, so I set all the goals. Again, I accomplished those goals. I had one goal that I could not accomplish. And at 52 and 53 years old, the Most High finally allowed me to accomplish that goal. And now I understand why he waited. You remember that saying in the Bible, Master, why did that, who sinned? Was it that young man's father? Was it his mother that sinned, that he's blind? And he said, no, it wasn't his sin, or it wasn't his parents' sin that he's blind, but this was to esteem the Most High. And so now my job is to esteem the Most High. And that's why he waited 52 years, 53 years for me to finally get it, because I didn't know what my purpose was. My purpose, I really believe, is to snatch people. People don't understand that food or this stuff that they are giving us is going to lead us to hell if we don't overcome it. All right. And so that's what my job is. My job is to help people overcome. And I hope that you all believe that you all can overcome. Do you all believe that y'all can overcome it? Oh, yes. Listen, if I can do it, you can do it. And matter of fact, if you will say for me, if he can do it, I can do it. Yeah, yes, that's right. If he can do it, I can do it. Why? Because we are more than conquerors. We're more than that's why we haven't been able to put it all together. We're saying one thing, but we're seeing another thing. Even in church, we're seeing another thing. We're not seeing conquerors. We're seeing people being conquered by gluttony and then being pushed under the rug. My hope for you is that the Most High is going to open up your mind. He's going to give you everything that you need to be able to change everything you've been trying to change. And let me tell you, when you overcome, the whole direction of your life is going to change. I have things in my life now that I never thought I wanted to do. Until this year did I find out that these are the things that I want to do. So trust me, if my life is going to change, y'all need to hold on to your seats. When you get it and you feel your body start to change, when you feel your health turning around and you're 60 years old and you're feeling like you're 30 years old, you're going to be like, oh no, I got too much life in me to live. All right? So it's going to happen. And I believe it. I believe it for you. Okay? I believe it for you. All right. So let's go ahead and start moving down into some things, because I know y'all didn't just come to listen to me just talk about me. Y'all got enough of me. You'll be able to listen to me all week. All right. So let's start getting into some things. Let's be honest. How many of you are, you're going to see me scrolling. So when you see me looking down, I'm looking at all of the people because I want to see the reaction of all of the people. How many of you, and I want you to be honest with me, How many of you believe that you can change? If you would, just nod your head for me. Okay. I'm still scrolling. All right, there we go. Hey, all right. All right. Okay. Is there anybody here who believes, and it's okay because I was one of these? Is there anybody here who does not believe that they can change? Nobody's going to judge you because we all have been there at some point. Listen, all we got to do is shove that piece of cake in our mouth and we'll say to ourselves, I'm always like this. I'm never going to be able to do it. Is there anybody who feels like they cannot change? Okay. Hopefully that's nobody. I don't know. I didn't see anybody looking like they didn't feel like they can change. But if you feel like you cannot change and you're not being vulnerable, it's okay. I totally get it. You don't know me from the man in the moon, as my mama used to say. You don't know me, so that's okay. You don't have to tell me, but I'm going to tell you right now that you can change. Give me your mama's Bible. You can change, and it's going to happen for you. All right. So remember, this is a vulnerable free zone. This is for you to be vulnerable. Nobody's going to judge you. This is a no judgment place. None of us are at our place where we should be. Okay. So we're not going to judge each other whatsoever. We're going to be open to each other. So if you would, go ahead and turn to your workbooks. If you have your workbooks, go ahead and open them up for me. You're going to see what I'm going over is actually going to be going according to your workbook. So we're going to talk about faith. Okay, when you say that you believe, you are actually talking about faith. If you don't have any faith to believe that you can change, that's right. It's never too late for any of us. If you don't believe that you can change, you don't have the faith, hey, here, borrow some of mine. There it is. I just gave it to you. I believe that you can change. I believe that. So let's look at the word faith. We're going to look at the Hebrew version of the word faith because the word faith actually comes from a word called emunah in the Bible, okay? It is a Hebrew word. Faith is more of a Western interpretation, but we want a real biblical interpretation of what the word faith actually means. Okay, so the Hebrew root aman means firm, something that is supported or secure. This word is used in Isaiah 22, verse 23, for a nail that is fastened to a secure place. Derived from this root is the word amun, or meaning craftsman. A craftsman is one who is firm and secure in his talent. The feminine form of emun is the word amunah, meaning firmness. Y'all listen to this. The Most High is getting ready to speak to you all. Listen to this. You're going to be able to understand the word faith. Something or someone that is firm in their actions. Does it say someone who's firm in their belief and they just sit there and wait for something to take place? No, someone that is firm in their actions. When the Hebrew word amunah is translated as faith, as it often is, misconceptions of its meanings occur. Faith is usually perceived as a knowing, while the Hebrew amunah is a firm action. To have faith in Elohim is not knowing that Elohim exists or knowing that he will act. Rather, it is that the one with amunah or faith will act with firmness towards Elohim's will. Do you hear that? Faith is something where it requires you to go do. You do it. Some of the things that you're going to have to do today is going to require action from you. And you're going to have to believe that the Most High wants you to be healthy. He wants you to have a long and prosperous life. You are wondrously and fearfully made. We're going to talk about that scripture. If we're fearfully and wonderfully made, then why are we allowing, or why are some of these things happening to us today? And I'm going to explain to you why those things are happening this week. All right. So we're really going to dig deep. Today is just a day for you to really get to know who I am. And I'm looking so forward to the rest of the week because we've got a lot of stuff to cover. All right. Okay. So let's see where we're going to go. So when I was driving my truck, and that's what I do for right now. So when I was driving my truck going down the highway, my chest was fluttering. I was thinking about problems, thinking about situations going on, thinking about my health. And while I'm thinking about my health, I'm getting anxiety. I'm having a panic attack because I know that my health is so bad that, you know, my fluttering that's taking place right now, at any moment, I could probably have a heart attack. So I don't know if any of you all know what that feels like, to wonder every second of the day, are you going to die today? But in the latter parts of where I was, that's where I was. You see, when I was a police officer, there were days that I would get calls about truck drivers. Officer Logan, we're going to need you to go to I-64 at about the 58-mile marker. We have a truck off the side of the road. And when I would pull up to those trucks, I would see a driver. He got the truck off the road, run up on an embankment up on the side. Truck is about ready to flip. It's right there leaning. And I'm walking up to the truck, and I get up on the side of the door, and the driver, he's laying over his steering wheel. Blue. He's already passed. That was a common thing, to see a truck driver have a heart attack. Even today, when I see trucks off of the road, you see a truck run off the road and run down into the woods, first thing pops in my mind is that trucker either fell asleep or he had a heart attack. One of the two. So I always immediately stop my truck. Just happened, matter of fact, the last 2 months, I saw a tractor trailer in front of me run right off of the road, hit an embankment, bounced up and down, and landed almost ready to flip over. First thing I did was I pulled my truck over, stopped, ran across the highway to check on him. And when I got up, PTSD is real in people's lives. First thing I did, I ran, got up on the door, and I said, "Hey, are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm good. I said, first thing I said was, "Hallelujah." And I just turned and walked off. Because that's one that I didn't have to see. And I know that could have been me. That was me in my life. Could have been me going through the exact same thing. And so that's why I pull and I run over and I always check, because I know that could have been me. And I would want somebody to stop and check on me as soon as they can, because I've got too much to leave behind. Too much. So these are the things, this is like, you all get to see firsthand what PTSD is. And I admit that I have it, but I don't let it take me out. You know, you're going to learn I'm an emotional guy. That's the way the Most High has made me, to be emotional, and I don't disown it. It's who I am, and I make it a part of my life, and I actually love it. There's a lot of men who can't show their emotion. They can't look at their wife and say, "Hey, I love you," and have a tear. You know, that's the kind of person that I am. But those are the things that I deal with. Okay, so for you all, never be afraid to be vulnerable about where you are. It's okay. Nobody's going to judge you here. I'm not going to judge you here. Okay? I want to read you something real quick. I'm going to give you a key here. This is going to be a key for you to hold on to. I'm going to give you many keys this week. This is going to be your first key that I'm going to give you. All right? Luke chapter 10, verse 27. And he answering said, you shall love Yahuwah. I call him Yah. You can go to look Psalm 68 verse 4. That's what his Hebrew biblical name is Yah. I know we use God, which is a title, and that's okay. I don't have a problem with that at all. But I like to go back and look at the Hebrew because that was the language that was spoken. Okay, so I know many people are like, well, that ain't what we talk. Well, I understand that, but that's what I use. Okay, so he says, you shall love Yah, your master, with all your heart, with all your being, and with all your strength, and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself. Okay? With all of your heart, we're going to talk about that, with all of your strength, with all of your mind. He said that for a reason, y'all. This is a key. And your neighbor as yourself. Do you all mind if I go over about 10 minutes? There's no way I'm going to be done at right on the hour. Could y'all give me about 10 more minutes after that? Y'all know how pastors do it, church. Come on. Y'all know how we do it. Just give me 10 minutes. I'm going to always try to hold to the time because I respect your time as well. All right? So, I want you to believe. Do you believe in yourself? Shake your head. Wave your hand. So I know. Do you believe in yourself? If you believe, you have a chance. If you don't believe, we got to get you to the place to where you can believe. All right. So let's look at strategies of lifestyle for us, okay? This is a strategy for you, okay? One of the keys that I'm talking about is going to have that key in it, okay? So look at your sheet, and you should see something called the THAG principle. The THAG principle, THAG principle. And we're going to look at that for a second. If you get this principle down, it will alter you. It will alter the way that you think. It'll alter the direction of your life. So, first, in this principle, you have to get your thoughts right. You understand that your mind is what guides your body. Your brain is what guides your body. If you see that apple that's on our shirts and on our stuff, so that in there is actually a brain in that apple. If you can get your brain acting right, if you can get your thoughts under control, you can guide your heart and your body to wherever you want it to go. That's why he talks about the mind. All right, so we're going to focus on the mind this week. Okay, so get your thoughts right. We're going to find ways to help get our thoughts right. Once you do that, you're going to steer yourself in the right direction. Then get your heart behind it. Okay, so once you have gotten it in your mind and you're beginning to internalize this way of thinking about food that we're going to be learning about, once you get it in your brain, then your heart this is your desire. Your heart is going to desire to want to do what the mind is telling it to do. Okay, so now we have our thoughts, we have our hearts. Now we're going to go to action. Once the mind is working correctly, the desire, the heart is in it. Now we're going to go do what we should be doing to get our health back. We're going to go do what we should be doing to get our life back. It's a bad thing to be elderly and have a poor quality of life. That's not life. Life is being full of energy. So much energy that your grandchildren just don't know what to do with you. Grandmama, you tiring us out. Can you give us a break? No, baby, come on. We still got to go do it. You got to have your grandchildren, hey, your own children. Hey, Dad, I'm a little wore out. That's all right, boy. Keep up with me. That's the energy that we want to have. We don't want to have the energy where we're on the couch and then somebody's got to start taking care of us because we just don't have the energy to do anything. I'm going to give you the keys that helps you get that energy to get up off of that couch. That woman walking, look, she done walked 5 times around that block today. Man, she couldn't even walk to the driveway. See, that's where we're going to get to. Just going to take a little time to get our brains to getting to that place, but it's going to happen, all right? Believe me, it's going to happen. I believe in you. Why? Because the Most High believed in me. And if he believes in me, I know he believes in you. I'm the worst of his people. All right, the last one is obtain your goals. Many of you all, you're not going to be the same way that you are. After this week, you're not going to be the same way. I know you probably, some of y'all who go to church all the time, you probably hear, you ain't going to never be the same. No, I'm telling you, you shouldn't be the same anymore after this week. Or at least you should be pointed in the right direction to go where you need to go. All right? So maybe you won't change this week. Maybe I shouldn't say that. But at the end of the week, you should be pointed in the direction to go where you should be going. And your life, it's not going to be the same, y'all. You should be excited about that. Had I known what my life was going to be like after I dropped the weight and I got the health and I got the energy and my mind started renewing, come on, y'all. Life is about to get good for y'all. If you listen to what the Most High's word is saying and some of these principles, it's not about me. These are things that he gave me. Some of these things that you hear, like who ever thought about the THAG principle? I ain't never heard that in my life. But that's what came to me. And I said, okay, I'm going to write it down. Okay, THAG principle, that's got to do with my thoughts. Well, man, that right there, that's got to do with the heart. Okay, well, after the heart, I thought my mind is right and I get my heart going. Now I got the actions, and now obtaining your goals. Now is when you go do it. You set goals for yourself and you go after them. I don't care if you're 80 years old. You're going to be like 30, 40. You're going to have new goals in your mind. I don't know. Some of you may say, I've been trying to go to college all my life and I just ain't never went. Well, guess what? After you get done, your mind is going to be firing so quickly, you're going to go to college if that's what your goal is. I want to go travel. I want to go see the world. I just ain't had time to feel like doing. You're going to go travel and see the world because that's how much energy you're going to have. You're going to have it. All right? So March 12th, 2023, I started my journey. I want you all to mark this date. February the 5th, 2024 is when many of you all are getting ready to start your life. You're going to get the bing in your mind this week. Many of you all are. And life is not going to be the same. Life has not been the same for me. So I still have goals for myself. I still want to reach 180 pounds. So I was 280 pounds when I started. And today, I don't have that big old gut like I used to have. Matter of fact, sideways now. I used to have one that came about like that. Hang down, probably, I had fat hanging off of me, probably down to my pockets on my sides, had a big old inner tube. But the Most High changed me so much, in less than 5 months, I was actually from 280 pounds, I was actually down to 205 pounds. Today, I'm before you right now, the lowest weight I have ever been since I've been in high school. I'm at 192 pounds. I would love to see 180 pounds. I pray that the Most High lets me get there. My wife may not want me to be there. I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see. But we're going to see where it goes. I've got a real close friend that I grew up with. I've been in contact with him. He's the same age as me. If you saw him in his physique, 53 years old, and he's cut, got muscles rolling off of him, and he's lifting and everything. And I said, you know what? I need to get in shape like that. Can you, who are elderly, can you lose weight without exercising? Can you, who are middle-aged, can you lose weight without exercising? Yes. Can you, if you happen to be almost immobile, and you watch this later, can you lose weight without exercising? Yes. Yes, you can. I'm going to tell you how I did it. I don't push how I eat on anybody, okay? It's not right for me to tell you, you need to eat this, you need to do this. Hey, your way may be different from my way, okay? So I just chose to do mine the biblical way. I looked at Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve was given fruit. Adam and Eve was given plants to eat. So I chose to eat fruit. And I ate fruit every day, Monday through Friday. That's all I ate was fruit. When I came home on the weekends, I would eat plants. So meaning I would eat a salad. I may have some air fried mushrooms, in an air fryer for about 10 minutes where they're not cooked all the way. I chose to eat the food that the Most High gave Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve lived for 900 years. Yes, I know it was a supernatural way back then that they were living that long. But I said, if it was good enough to feed them, then it's good enough to feed me. I never read about an illness that Adam and Eve ever had. So if his food, now think about this. His food that he created first was plants. It was fruits. When his kingdom returns, he said that along the stream is going to be planted trees. And those trees are going to bear 12 different fruits every season. And it says that the leaves is for the healing of the nations. Well, daggone, that's where I'm getting my healing from. If it healed back then and it heals now and it's going to heal then it should heal me now. So I began my journey eating fruits, and I began my journey eating vegetables. So I eat about 80%, maybe really about 90% fruit and maybe 10% vegetables, nuts, seeds, things like that. Listen, this is where I want to encourage you. Within 5 days, for sure 7, but I remember 5 days, my blood pressure started dropping. Within 5 days, water started coming off of my body. I was urinating a lot. Why? Because I wasn't eating that salt, holding that salt in my body and keeping that fluid on me. That fluid wasn't holding around my heart anymore. So I started losing. I lost 30 pounds my first month. That's how much fluid was on my body. My shins would swell up from driving. I could put my thumb in my shin, leave it there, and pull it out in the print. If you go look at my YouTube, if you look at the my 30-day vlog that I had, if you look at the second day, you will see me jab my finger in my shin, and you'll see that mark stay there, and then it'll gradually fill back out with fluid. I began losing all of that within 5 to 7 days after I started. Okay? Listen, here's the most important part I want you to know. For those of you all who are elderly, for those of you all who don't feel like you can do exercise right now, don't do exercise right now. Number one, we got to get the heart right. Okay? Both of the physical heart and the mental heart. We got to get them both right. Within 5 to 7 days, I began losing my weight, I worked out probably 3 times in 5 months, and I lost almost 70 pounds. It can be done. The question is, do you have the mind to do it? Do you really want to do it? The next thing is, do you have the heart to want to do it? I'm not telling you got to go out and run a mile. I'm not telling you to do anything. Don't do anything. But the Most High has created food for us to eat. It's there for us. It's for the healing for us. Our problem is that we have been eating ultra processed food that is not the Most High's food. I'm going to give you a scripture on that. It's not His. You're going to have to start defining food for yourself. There is the Most High's food and there is Satan's food. There is the Most High's food and there is the enemy's food. The Most High's food nourishes your body. The enemy's food kills your body. He's like a roaring lion. And all he wants to do is devour you. Okay? So those are the things. I want to know from you all on your sheet. I want you to write it down. I want you to tell me what your goals are. And if you don't mind, for those of you all who are signed up, there are a lot of you who are signed up that I don't think are in the Facebook page. That's our way of communicating, because I can't talk to everybody at one time on Zoom. It just won't allow me to do that, and we would be here all day. So I would like for you to go in and whatever is on that sheet that's asking you to do, I would like for you to do that, okay? What are your goals for yourself? What's your expectation after this week? I'd really like to know what that is, because I want to know you. You know me, but I really don't know you. If you don't mind, I know we asked people if you would put like a 30-second thing up, just let us know about yourself. Or if you're that shy, just type something out. I want to read it and know who you are so that, you're in my mind and I can pray for you, or, I can think about what you're saying and know what direction that many people need for me to go in. But this is how we're pretty much going to do it every day. Today was just like a you get to know me day, okay? I've done it. I've been there. I know how many of you feel. I know the aloneness that many of you may feel. I know what it's like when you feel like people don't understand you. Okay, you look good. You look like you're not overweight, but I am overweight. I don't know how to quit eating like that. I know how that feels. I know how it's detrimental it is to your feelings. And it makes you feel like you can't accomplish anything because you're so run down and you're so lethargic because of what we're eating. I'm going to show you this week, y'all. Just hang with me, please. I know some of you may not maybe vibe with my character, and I may get on your nerves the way that I talk, and I can't do anything about that. But don't not come back because of that. I really want you all to at least give me a chance to help you. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about your why. I'm going to help you build a why if you don't have one. I'm going to help you do that. You're going to find out that a why is so important in your life. Okay? Very important in your life. So we're going to go ahead and end it right here. Sweetie, is there anything else that I'm
No, it just locked up for a second, but you're good.
Did it? Okay. Did it lock up on my side?
On my
Can
side.
everybody still hear me?
I can see you good.
Okay, all right. All right, so please, again, come back tomorrow. I really felt like it was important for me to be able to share with you all who I was so that I can let you see me. And I'm a genuine person. I have nothing but love. I've got no bad motives in my heart whatsoever, because I am actually owned by the one who sent me, and that is the Most High.